Welcome back to our world history class. It's me, Mr. Ramos. Go ahead, go to our LODA USD website, then Clever Portal, Cengage Learning, NGL World History Book. You have English and Spanish editions here. Left side, you'll see the units. Scroll down to Unit 5. Then Chapter 12, Renaissance and Reformation. Section 1, the Italian Renaissance. And today we'll learn about 1.1, the rise of the individual. Throughout the Middle Ages, it's all about kingdoms and church and tribes and warfares and revolutions. However, in our lesson for today, it involves a revolution, but the kind of revolution that is less violent. So the main idea here is the growth of humanism with its emphasis on the individual that led to the rebirth of arts and learning. Today I will just discuss the highlighted key vocabs here, or the words that are in bold letters or highlighted in yellow, to help you understand what the title means, the rise of the individual. So the new movement was called humanism. So instead of blindly obeying the authority of the king or the teachings of the church, the followers of these movements wanted to be independent, to think for themselves. So it's not about being selfish. It's about independent thinking. And from here, the movement's followers found inspiration in classical or ancient Greek and Roman writings. Remember, in history, there are three major time frames or timelines. The first is classical, the second is medieval, and the third and last is the modern history. You are probably familiar with the word retro, where young people listen to music of the past, where the fashion of their grandparents, arts. In other words, some people today label them as the hipsters. Some people are offended by that label, others, they accept it with pride. So the Renaissance started like the rise of the hipsters, reviving classical thinking and arts from the Romans and the Greeks. It definitely affected a lot of things in the society, but the emphasis is more on classical arts and literature. The Renaissance generally started in Italy, and specifically in Florence, the city of Florence. It is named as the birthplace of the Renaissance. Artists like Leonardo da Vinci, Raphael, Michelangelo, and the entire squad of Ninja Turtles came from Florence, Italy. Why Florence? So the city of Florence is located about 145 miles northwest of Rome. It lies along the Arno River and is surrounded by rolling hills. Florence was founded as a Roman military colony in the 1st century BC. By the 1300s, Florence had become a wealthy city. Much of its wealth was due to its successful textile industry. Florence merchants sailed to England to get wool, and Florentine artisans wove it into fine clothes. So the clothes were sold in Italy, Northern Europe, and Asia. Florence also became a center of banking and exerted great influence throughout Europe and beyond. Bottom line, they are very wealthy. So that is the reason why they were able to finance arts and literature. Michelangelo painted this fresco of a woman on the walls of the Sistine Chapel in Rome. What details make the subject seem lifelike? Later, using your own time, go ahead, investigate the details of this painting and see it for yourself, what makes the Renaissance art stand out compared to classical arts, specifically classical paintings. Now we go to the review and assess section here. So there are 3 questions here. Most likely these are the same questions that I will post in our Google Classroom for the check for understanding. So the first one, reading check. What inspired the development of humanism? Number 2, identify the main ideas and details. Why did the Renaissance begin in Italy? Finally, number 3, language use. What does the phrase an earth shaking cultural shift suggest about the impact of the Renaissance in Europe? So there you have it. You go to our Google Classroom and answer the check for understanding questions until our next lesson. Okay, bye for now. Keep safe and stay healthy.